Okay, now, two rams cannot drink from the same bucket at the same time. They will definitely lock horns. If two rams drink from the same bucket at the same time, they will definitely lock horns. And whereas a liar takes 1,000 years to go on a journey, the one who speaks the truth follows and overtakes the liar in just a day. Now, a liar who takes 1,000 years to go on a journey is overtaken for just a day by he who speaks the truth. This is African Cocktail, the 41st edition, coming to you from Africa Radio. Welcome on board. Okay, good afternoon. If you're listening to us from the Boma County, that is in Liberia. If you're listening to us from Ibadan, that is in Nigeria, we say good afternoon. Then to you listening to us from Cincinnati, that is in Ohio, good morning. And if you are in Edea, Cameroon, listening to us at this time, we say good afternoon. Good afternoon to you listening to us from Casablanca, that is in Morocco. Then to you listening to us from New Orleans, USA, we say good morning. What about you listening to us from the southern parts of Italy? We simply say bonjour. Si vous êtes à Paris, c'est-à-dire en France, on vous dit bon après-midi. Guten Tag to you listening to us from Berlin, that is in Germany. Then to you listening to us from Pont Noir, that is in Congo, we say good afternoon. Good afternoon to you listening to us from Jamena, Chad. And to you listening to us from Rabat, that is in Morocco, we say good afternoon. What about you in Guinea-Conakry, precisely in Conakry, the capital of that great West African country? Good afternoon to you. Si vous êtes à Yamoussoukro, c'est-à-dire en Côte d'Ivoire, on vous dit bon après-midi. And to you listening to us from Beijing, that is in China, good evening. What about you listening to us from Lubumbashi, that is in the DRC? Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you in Kigali, that is in Rwanda. Then to you listening to us from Boston, Massachusetts, USA, good morning. Good morning to you listening to us from Tokyo, Japan. And to you listening to us from Lisbon, that is in Portugal, we say good afternoon. Then to you listening to us from Cape Town, that is in South Africa, good afternoon to you. Then to you listening to us from Lilongwe, that is the capital of Malawi, we say good afternoon. Then good morning to you listening to us from Columbus, that is in Ohio, United States of America. And whenever you get this voice every Wednesday at this hour, know that you're listening to African Cocktail. Welcome to the 9th edition of your darling show for the year 2014, which is of course the 41st episode since we started in May last year. Okay, just like we say every time on African Cocktail, this is a party on radio that brings you all the niceties of the beautiful African continent. So, how much of Africa do you know? How much of Africa do you eat? How much of Africa do you wear? How much of African entertainment news do you get to savor? And most important, how much of African music do you get to dance to or listen to? These are the kind of questions we do well to answer just on African Cocktail. All right, African Cocktail is a mixture of the best values you can ever think of. And in this 41st edition of the show, we focus on the African woman. What place does she occupy in her society? What are the strides made by the African woman? How can she contribute to the development of her community and her society at large? What are the challenges faced by the African woman on a daily basis? Is she the source of her problem? And some observers think she is. But then, how can her male counterpart help her grow? These are the kind of questions we shall be attempting answers to in this edition of African Cocktail. Don't go away. Alright, yet another question. Is it time for Africa to turn to female leadership? From Liberia's Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to Malawi's Joyce Banda and now the Republic of Central Africa's Catherine Samba Panza. What can we make out of this new dispensation? One of our resource persons attempts a politico-socio-analysis of African women leadership in this edition of African Cocktail. Guinean-born international relations expert Souleyman Kouyate will join us just right ahead in this edition of the show. Now, she's so young yet so daring. Crystal Beauty is the fast growing host of a Cameroonian online TV show. The Boston-based sociology graduate who wears countless caps has made great strides and of course great inroads in her game, and in the process Crystal Beauty has received several prominent people on her show. But as a young girl, how does she break through in this supposedly man's world? Crystal Beauty opens up in this edition of the show, just like Naomi Dominion, who is a movie producer and of course actress, tells her own part of the story. Okay, a much awaited baby in gestation. Her name, CameroonCelebrities.com, the latest Cameroonian online entertainment magazine, is at the verge of being made public. After months of behind-the-scene works, the CameroonianCelebrity.com team is ready to serve its public with the delicacy. One of the brain behind this online media project is renowned gospel artist and entertainment promoter Maybelle Boma. From her New York base, Maybelle tells us more about this forthcoming baby just right ahead in this 41st edition of African Cocktail. ModeMaison PR is one of Cameroon's leading communication agencies, known to have introduced an exciting flair in the Cameroon's corporate communication sector. The dollar-based communication outfit is 1 year old and its first anniversary was celebrated recently in a glamorous event that is yet to leave the headlines. One of the three managers running ModeMaison PR comes back to that event, as well as the things the outfit has in store for its beneficiaries this new year. Cynthia Tabe, a well-known UK Cameroonian-based entertainment promoter, joins us in this special edition of African Cocktail. Meantime, I'm not alone in this sumptuous 1110 studio of Africa Radio, situated at Moss Road alone. I'm here with two of my radio colleagues. To my extreme right, I have the very Keke. Keke, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you? I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm alright. Keke, you look so bright this morning. Definitely it's going to be a happy day.
Thank you.
And to my extreme left is, I call her my jingle partner. Seran, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Seran is from Guinea-Conakry, just like Keke. But Keke has, she tells me she comes from Liberia. On other days, she tells me she comes from Guinea-Conakry. But all the same, she comes from West Africa. Then I'm from Central Africa. Cameroon used to be West Africa, but down. We are in Central Africa. Okay, my name is Ernest Kanjo. I will be hosting this edition of African Cocktail, asking you to sit back, relax, and of course enjoy every bit of what we shall be presenting to you in this edition of African Cocktail. We have two main guests in this very special edition of the show. Two young and dynamic ladies who will be telling her stories. One of them will be talking from Boston. Her name, Crystal Beauty, and the other from Maryland, Naomi Dominion. I now go to first Boston to find out if Crystal Beauty is on the line. Crystal, are you with us this morning?
Yes, I am.
So how are you doing?
I'm great. You?
I'm alright, we thank God. So how is Boston? Is it snowing today?
Oh, thank goodness. There's no snow today.
Right. Just like Columbus, we have lots and lots of sunshine. And over to Maryland, I have Naomi Dominion. Naomi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite fine, thank you.
And so how is MD today?
Well, it's sunny outside, even though there's a lot of snow around still.
Right. Okay, Naomi and Crystal, you are welcome to this edition of African Cocktail, and thanks so much for confirming your presence. I'll be with you throughout the show, so just have some respite. I'll be back with you girls. Okay, those were our main guests, Naomi and Crystal. And like I said, my name is Ernest. I'm joined here in the studio today by Saran and Keke, two female radio personalities who will definitely be running this show because it's an all-female edition of African Cocktail today. So, once again, for those of you who are just joining us, remember that the lines will be open for any participation. Whenever you think that you are inspired, you can always join us. We shall be talking about the African woman and, of course, her challenges in this edition of the show. 614-987-5097 are the numbers to dial whenever you want to get in touch with us this morning. Once again, welcome on board. Okay, usually, like we say every time on African Cocktail, we cannot begin this show without giving thanks to the person who makes it possible for us to be here every Wednesday and to make this show a great one. He is the Almighty God. And so, from wherever you are listening to us from the globe, we just want to urge you to bow your head so that we give thanks to God. And we're going to do that today in a very special way through music. And today we have Sister Maybelle Boma and Inori Fotso, who will be saying thank you, Lord. We thank God for everything. So don't go away. It's time for us to give him praise. Thank you, Lord, for making us happy once again. Father, thank you for everything. We thank you for the energy, the strength. We thank you for the wisdom, and even for the people who take off time to participate on this show. Lord, we want to pray that you bless this edition so that at the end of the day, Lord, we're going to continue to praise your name. Thank you once again. In the mighty name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Okay, just listen there to Thank You, Lord by Refotso and Maybelle, Boma. This is the 41st edition of African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio. And we're going to kick off with music, and we are in the DRC. It's going to be an all-female musical selection in this edition of the show. Okay, for those of you just joining us, this is the 41st edition of African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest, Kanjo, Salan, and of course KK. This day, Wednesday, March the 5th, 2014. Just right ahead, we shall be receiving lots and lots of people to talk in this edition. Mostly female guests will be prominent in this edition of African Cocktail. We have Naomi, Dominion, and of course we have Crystal Beauty, who will be talking from Maryland and Boston respectively. But then we're going to begin with our resource person, Souleyman Kouyate, who is already on the line. And of course, Souleyman will be talking about the African woman in this edition of the show, especially because we are joining women the world over come 8th March to celebrate or commemorate the International Women's Day. So let's go over to Souleyman Kouyate, one of our resource persons who is already on the line. Souleyman, bonjour.
Bonjour Ernest.
Comment ça va, Souleyman?
Oui, ça va très bien.
Bon, Souleyman, je précise que vous êtes un expert de la relation internationale et avec vous aujourd'hui, Souleyman, on va essayer d'analyser la situation de la femme africaine, hein, et on va commencer d'abord avec l'actualité. Et pour la première fois, une actrice africaine noire, je vais préciser, vient de remporter un prix d'excellence dans les Academy Awards, appelons ça les Oscars. Elle s'appelle Lupita Nyong'o, la Kenyane, a montré sur le podium dimanche et c'était pratiquement tout le monde qui était content. Hein. Première chose seulement, comme un Africain, comment avez-vous senti?
Ernest, je suis ça en direct, j'étais plein d'émotions, c'était vraiment beaucoup d'émotions quand j'ai vu cette dame monter sur la scène pour recevoir son prix alors que il y avait des nominés, des grands noms du cinéma américain, tels que Julia Roberts, qui est personnellement l'une de mes favorites actrices depuis mon enfance. Si je vois cette jeune africaine remporter ce prix devant des personnes comme Julia Roberts et puis Jennifer Lawrence, c'est vraiment incroyable. C'est une victoire pour la femme africaine, c'est une victoire pour toute l'Afrique, mon frère Ernest. Et je vous précise que tout Kenya a fêté cet événement. J'ai lu sur ABC que c'est tout Kenya qui a fêté, mais c'est pas seulement tout Kenya qui a fêté, c'est toute l'Afrique qui a fêté ça parce que c'est une première, comme vous l'avez bien dit, c'est la première femme africaine noire qui remporte dans le cadre des Oscars.
Seulement, on sait que pour remporter les Oscars n'est pas donné à tous artistes, hein, surtout les Noirs. Quelle peut être la signification de cette victoire pour la relation entre l'Afrique et Hollywood et même le monde entier?
Bon, exactement, c'est une ouverture, le cercle restreint des acteurs, plus précisément les acteurs américains sur la scène internationale, c'est pas facile d'accéder. Maintenant que Lupita est rentré dans le cercle, je suis sûr et certain que c'est une ouverture pour beaucoup d'autres personnes, plus précisément les Africains. On sait bien que le cinéma africain est en train de prendre de l'ampleur, donc pas seulement pour Lupita. Je crois que dans les années prochaines, je suis sûr qu'on verra d'autres Africains et Africaines rentrer dans ce cercle restreint.
Et je vais qu'on parle de la femme africaine et la politique, Souleyman. Tout récemment, une femme est arrivée à la tête du pays en République centrafricaine. Catherine Samba Panza a pris le pouvoir dans les conditions pas trop faciles, quand on sait que le pays était déjà très déstabilisé suite d'un coup d'État et ensuite le malfonctionnement du pays dans les mois qui ont suivi cet incident militaire. D'abord, est-ce que tu penses que dans ce genre de situation, surtout dans ce pays qui a connu pas mal de problèmes politiques, il faut vraiment une femme à la tête?
Je crois que il faut une femme à la tête, pas forcément une femme, mais je crois que les femmes aussi sont dans une situation actuelle. Les femmes peuvent faire quelque chose d'extraordinaire.
Oui.
Je crois qu'il faut mettre sur table l'égalité ici. C'est possible qu'il y a des hommes capables, tels que Nelson Mandela, comme on le connaît, qui peuvent résoudre certaines situations, mais il n'y a pas que les hommes, c'est surtout ça que moi je veux faire entendre aux gens. Cette femme, plus précisément, elle mérite une situation extrêmement complexe, mais j'ai lu son interview, elle a beaucoup d'espoir et c'est une femme très, très, très courageuse et je suis sûr que elle pourra s'en sortir. On a déjà vu quelques exemples. Le cas de Libéria, quoique c'est un peu différent, mais si on peut parler du cas de Libéria, c'est une Johnson qui est venue au pouvoir au lendemain d'une guerre civile dévastatrice, mais je crois qu'elle a pu arranger les choses, pas parfaitement, mais elle a pu beaucoup faire et à cause de ça, elle a réussi le prix Nobel, Peace Nobel Prize. Ça, c'est quelque chose d'extrêmement important. Je sais que Samba Panza aussi, elle est capable de faire parce qu'elle est en train de travailler, mais avec certaines puissances mondiales comme la France. Et je crois qu'avec beaucoup de support, elle pourra bien régler la situation.
Et seulement quelques observateurs avertis disent que les hommes ont échoué au plan politique et même au plan économique, et que les femmes peuvent faire mieux. Est-ce que tu crois à cette impression et quel peut être l'avenir de l'Afrique avec la femme dans le leadership?
Bon, je suis un peu partagé par rapport à cette affirmation. Comme je l'avais dit précédemment, certains hommes peuvent le faire, mais je crois que c'est vrai quand même, je reconnais que les femmes sont plus pacifiques, sont plus diplomates dans leur façon de faire, alors que les hommes souvent font recours à la force. Et les femmes, souvent, c'est pas ça, c'est la médiation surtout. Et si je peux prendre un exemple, toujours sur le cas libérien, au moment où il y a la guerre civile éclatait au Libéria, à un moment, quand il y avait les assises pour trouver un terrain d'attente pour faire la paix, les hommes à plusieurs reprises n'ont pas pu trouver un terrain d'attente. Et le dernier jour, je crois, les femmes ont fait un sitting devant l'endroit où le meeting se tenait. Ils ont dit que les hommes ne sortiront pas de ce meeting tant qu'un terrain d'entente n'est pas trouvé. Et c'est comme ça qu'une porte de sortie a été trouvée dans la crise libérienne. Donc c'est vrai que les femmes peuvent résoudre des situations que les hommes ne sont pas capables de résoudre.
Oui. Souleyman, pour finir, les femmes africaines vont rejoindre leurs amis, le monde entier, le 8 mars, pour commémorer la journée internationale de la femme. Avez-vous un message pour les femmes?
Oui, j'ai un message pour les femmes africaines surtout. Vous savez, en Afrique, souvent les femmes sont considérées comme des personnes inférieures, mais je dirais à toutes nos sœurs qui sont à l'écoute de ne pas se prendre comme un être inférieur. Tout ce que les hommes peuvent, les femmes peuvent le faire. Et mon message aux hommes aussi, c'est presque pareil. Il ne faut jamais considérer la femme comme un être inférieur. Il faut donner la chance aux femmes, il faut les traiter de même pied d'égalité que les hommes, parce que tout dépend de la capacité intellectuelle et le savoir-faire d'une personne. C'est pas le sexe seulement qui détermine, mais surtout la capacité, le niveau d'éducation et puis le savoir-faire. Donc c'est vraiment ça, quoi.
Tout ce que les hommes peuvent, les femmes peuvent faire aussi. Merci beaucoup, Souleyman, d'avoir été avec nous ce matin.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, that was Souleyman Kouyate, one of our resource persons. He is an expert in international relations, talking about the African woman, and of course, looking ahead and looking at the future of Africa with perhaps women at the head. Souleyman just said what a man can do, a woman can. And even better, do you agree, KK, Saran?
Yeah, that's true. If you put your mind to it, whatever a man can do, a woman can do it too. Even maybe even better. Because we have more opportunity. And I mean, I know guys, men have more, opportunities. It's just when you put your mind and stuff, like, if you, like an example, if you have a dream, don't let nobody put you down to it. Just follow your dream, because no matter how long it takes, God might answer your prayer one of those days. Like what happened to Lupita. Look at her today. I think the last time when she won, I think she started doing movie since back home, like, playing. But look at her now, where she is. You never know. Just follow your dream. Whatever men can do, women can do it too.
And Saran.
Yeah, I mean, it is something that has been proven already that women can do a much better job, and the thing is, we looking down, and our male or the society looking down at female, or when you were growing up, especially in our society or in our community, when you are growing up and they feel that you women are just meant to to be in the house, have kids, clean the house. That is what that lot of us, have put or an image of a woman. When you say a woman, it just comes to that image. You don't see a woman. We don't see a woman, especially in our society. Over here in America or in the diaspora, they have a lot of opportunities out there, for you to do a lot of things like men would do. For you to be a president if you want to, for you to be a senator, for you to be a governor if you want to. But in Africa is a challenge, because the image that we have of a woman in Africa is you being in the kitchen, cooking for the men, and men providing. If we had the opportunity back home, or it is an International Women's Day coming on very soon, if we have those opportunities, I promise you women will be in a lot of places than a lot of men, because we have the will, we have the zeal. I mean, I do, and I know a lot of women around me that do have the same will or the zeal or the determination to do much better. So I would just stop there for now.
We have the zeal, we have the will, we have the determination to do whatever thing we can do. Okay, I told you I have women of substance with me here in the studio. Thank you so much, Saran and KK, for being here. We're going to have some music then. We start bracing to get to Maryland and, of course, Boston, where our guests will definitely be on the line anytime from now.
Simba wa binadamu.
8 minutes past 11 o'clock. For those of you just tuning in, this is African Cocktail, the 41st edition, coming to you from Africa Radio this day, Wednesday, March the 5th, 2014. Just 3 days to go, 3 days to the commemoration of the International Women's Day. And of course, it's an all-female show here today. We have Naomi Dominion and of course Crystal Beauty as main guests in this edition of African Cocktail. We're going to begin our conversation. And for those of you just joining us, this is Naomi, not Naomi, but Maybelle in that one title, Nadina. Maybelle is the legendary Congolese artist whom you'd always enjoy to listen to. So I have with me KK and Seran, and of course Naomi and Crystal are at the other side of the glass. So Crystal, once again, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I feel honored on the show.
All right. So I have Saran.
All right, and Crystal, who is Crystal Beauty? Could you tell us your story, please?
Sure. My birth name actually is Immaculate B. I was born in Douala, Cameroon, but I was raised in Bamenda. I'm currently an online TV talk show host, and I'm also currently doing my master's in entertainment business.
Okay, Crystal Beauty, thank you so much for that. I have KK with the next question.
Yeah, Crystal, why did you choose to study sociology and theater art?
Yeah, I've always wanted to be an actress, since I was young. So I thought about studying theater to improve my skills and to learn to have the basic knowledge of what it means to be an actress, and studying sociology alongside that is because sociology gives you a broader knowledge of society and human relationships, and having that knowledge helps you as an actor, because acting is being somebody, is portraying somebody else's character, you have to be that person, so you have to understand the person's frame of mind and why they act the way they act and why they're doing what they're doing. So I think the two actually helps build me as an actor, as a better actress, So yeah, that's why I had to study both.
All right. Do you think that adequate knowledge in sociology can impact on women folks of your community and society? How would you establish the relationship?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, sociology helps you to understand society, right? Now, understanding society, definitely, when we talk about womanhood, okay, we get into sexuality and gender discrimination and all that stuff. So if we understand all of this, it helps us to relate with people more, So it helps us. You talk about how does it establish relationships. Basically, if you understand it, you can. It's easy to relate with people that way, because you understand why they act the way they act or what they're doing and the effects of society on them, and so it's easier to communicate and interact with people that way.
Okay, she's yet another young but dynamic lady. Her name, Naomi Dominion. Naomi, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you. I'm truly, truly honored to be part of this.
Right. I may know a little bit about you, Naomi, but certainly those of us listening to you from somewhere in Ibadan, Nigeria, don't. So could you just tell us, who is Naomi Dominion?
I would say I'm all in one, meaning I have very, very different aspects of my personality when it comes to business and acting, singing, so many things.
And so, could you just tell us about your childhood, your upbringing? How did it look like?
Yeah, I was brought up in a very strict and Christian home. Since I was a child, my parents always taught me to be very independent and fight for what I want, and that's the thing that's been keeping me going till today. Life.
And is there anything that actually marks you when you reflect back to that childhood of yours? Is there something you would always love to remember?
Yes, the fact that my parents always we travel a lot. I was able to explore different cultures and different people, and able to relate to others from different various places worldwide, and taught me a lot in life to be open-minded about most things.
Right. So Crystal studied sociology. What about you?
I'm business administration, actually.
And why did you choose to study what you did?
I chose business because it's something that helps me, I feel, also in the career I do as a performing artist, in order to open clothing stores for fashion, and schools to teach people for acting and singing and various things. So I felt like business is the best thing you could do, because it teaches you those basic strategies in order to open, businesses and big companies that further my career.
And if you were to turn the hand of the clock backwards, would you still choose to study business administration?
Yes, I will. Over and over. Over.
Right.
Yes, I will.
Okay. Thank you so much, Naomi Dominion. You'll be with me throughout this edition of African Cocktail. I'll be right back with you. Time for us to listen to some music. Okay. African Cocktail is coming to you from Africa Radio. And of course, we are three of us here in the studio. I have two dynamic ladies with me here. And like I told you earlier, they are women of substance. They host iTunes here on Africa Radio. So, when is your next edition?
It's on Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Every Sunday. So tune in. Basically, it is a show that tries to bring, tunes from every nation,
right,
from Africa into the diaspora. It is very, very interesting, and we have hot topics. If you're somebody that is interested in your community, what is going on, whether it is in relationship, with kids, education, entertainment, it is a show for you.
Right. Okay, always take a rendezvous with Saran and Keke on Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. Let's listen to some music, then we'll be right back.
Laissez-moi vous raconter.
Bakana mbinze toyo babwaka kalibanga kakayo ezali na bumae bakotiala motemae.
Celui qui fait quelque chose a contre lui
ceux qui font la même chose, ceux qui font le contraire, et la grande majorité des gens qui ne font rien.
La femme s'appelle Pierrette Adams. Elle chantait comme ça, absolument. Okay, Pierrette Adams in that beautiful one, coming to you from Africa Radio. And of course, the show is African Cocktail Special Edition, focusing on the African woman. What are her problems? What are her challenges? And just how can she deal with these problems? are the questions we are asking in this edition of the show. If you feel inspired, just press your fingers on 614-987-5097 and you will be talking to us live in this edition of the show. Just right ahead, we shall be receiving our guests. And we have on our lineup today, Maybelle Boma will be talking from New York. Then Cynthia Tabe from London. Okay, let's enjoy this one. I'll be right back.
Zambe moto apesa yo makoki nyonso wana kasi komikitisa te pour plaire à tout le monde. Ma bobo, réussissez, vous en veut. C'est absolument échoué, vous êtes le bienvenu chez les fainéants. Mourrez et on vous reconnaîtra des talents. Nombreux absolument.
Au revoir les amis. Et un conseil. Vivez votre vie. Tuez-vous à bien faire. Et quand vous mourrez, vous aurez absolument existé.
Okay, that's a beautiful message there from Pierre Adams. Okay, we're now moving to Barbara Kanam. Barbara Kanam is a contemporary Congolese female artist who has also been hitting, the headlines. Okay, this one is titled Congo Rumba. We are still in the DRC. That's where we are beginning our musical ride this morning in the special edition of African Cocktail with Naomi and Crystal Beauty. And of course, Seran and KK in the studio of Africa Radio. And of course, Ernest Kanjo is at the central microphone, 614-987-5097, and the numbers to dial to get in touch with us. It's exactly 22 minutes past 11. And just right ahead, we shall also be receiving our correspondents, Titus Banyo in Antwerp, Belgium, Maxel Adjik in Essen, Germany, and of course, Solomon Atta in Cape Town, South Africa. Listen to this, we'll be right back. Okay, as the Cameroonian entertainment industry grows from leaps and bounds, so too is the media that focuses on entertainment. And so, a new baby is about to be born. The gestation is ongoing. Her name, CameroonCelebrities.com. CameroonCelebrities.com is definitely coming up with something new in the landscape. And of course, the brain behind that new media outfit is on the line. Her name, Maybelle Boma. I don't need to introduce her again because Maybelle is already so renowned, so prominent, and of course, so very present on the landscape. Maybelle is talking to us from New York this morning. Maybelle, you're welcome to African Cocktail.
Oh, thank you guys. And good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Maybelle. What is CameroonCelebrity.com all about?
First of all, let me take this opportunity to just say that I'm bereaved. I lost one of my brothers in Cameroon today, Charles Fortune, so I'm kind of down. And I just want to say that CameroonCelebrity.com, the reason I came up with that idea is because I believe that we now have the talent, and we have a lot of actors and actresses and musicians, but people are not aware of what they do. So I felt if I could come up with a forum, more of that, like a website that I can write about them, I can give them a lot of exposure and also to draw awareness to the Cameroon entertainment industry. But we also have talent that can compete with Nigeria and Ghana. That's why I came up with CameroonCelebrity.com.
That's great. I love it.
Okay, thank you.
And when this project conceived, what was the motivation behind it?
The motivation is because, like now I do run my own private blog on my Facebook page. So initially I was going to come up with a blog, which I was going to call it CameroonCelebrity.com, that I could write about celebrity stories, like the daily life and things like that. But then I also thought that I could incorporate all the sectors of the entertainment industry into it, meaning gossip, of course, fashion, movies, music, and then football.
Right.
So I came up with CameroonCelebrity.com. That way I can use the website to write about these things that are happening in our community, being abroad and also back home.
Right. Now, maybe tell us how are your activities going to look like? Are you going to have reporters on the field and perhaps desk editors?
Actually, that is what I'm trying to put into it. But fortunately, I have some of them on the field right now in Cameroon. I cannot mention names or to tell you where they are because it's confidential. I do have them around, and they're good at passing on information, because what I'm going to use CameroonCelebrity.com to do, part of what I will use it to do is not just to write about the good aspect of our celebrities. I will also write about the other things that they are doing off camera. So it's more like a gossip / entertainment column.
Right.
So I do have some few folks right now. I have some of them in England, I have them in Cameroon, I have some few in Paris, and then also here in the United States.
Right. Okay. Maybe tell us what is going to be a scope of coverage. Is it just Cameroon, or from time to time you're going to move a little bit away from Cameroon, especially when it has to do with Cameroonian artists interacting with artists from other countries?
Actually, my scope, I really concentrate on Cameroon more, but in order to bring traffic into also put like the other countries to come in, I'll have to write about like some few Nigerians or Ghana or even Africans and Americans. But the main idea is to expose the Cameroon entertainment industry. So I will have to write more about Cameroonian celebrities.
Right. And Ms. Boma, there are several other existing Cameroonian entertainment portals, and yours is coming to join the family. However, I presume there is something which is going to make CameroonianCelebrities.com stand out, call it unique. What is the difference that the site is going to introduce?
The site is going, actually I took it to another level, which I call it my platinum site. It's going to introduce a whole lot. It will not just be about blogging. I'm going to have a news page. I'm going to have an event page. It's going to have sport. I will have a chatting forum on board. I will also be doing live video streaming of events as they're unfolding. So So it's a whole lot. It's just, I mean, it's not just a block. It's a whole lot.
Wow.
You know, but I mean, you know that it takes time because I do have a team that is working on it now.
Right.
So like I said, I mean, in the space of 4 to 6 months, I'm going to start streaming events live on the site. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Maybelle, ahead of the kickoff of this very instrumental entertainment side, what is the general ambience among Cameroonians? Are they anxious?
Actually, yeah, you know, it's so funny because I've been getting a lot of inboxes about when is it going live. Everyone is excited because, you know, we really don't have something like this. I mean, in Cameroon, well, we do from T-Top Stars, but T-Top Stars is very, very friendly. So that the Cameroon celebrity that come, like I said, it would be more of like a gossip / entertainment side. So you know, that I mean, the excitement is also there, and then also I'll have a platform that new artists or like fashion designers or like actresses, they can advertise their movies or like upcoming events. You know, so there will be a whole lot of interaction on the side.
Right.
Yeah.
So when exactly are you hitting the World Wide Web, and what are the promising potential visitors to CameroonianCelebrities.com?
Actually, we were hoping that they will go live on Friday. So, like I said, I have a team that is working. I have 2 of them in DC, and there's 1 in South Korea. So it depends on how they do it. But as of now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm looking on the site, which I cannot make it live now because it's not finished. So I'm hoping that we're going to go live this Friday, but if not, it's almost ready. I mean, it's almost there. So I'm just hoping. And so in terms of, like, you talk about what, like, financially, is that part of your question?
We just want to know when exactly are you going to hit the World Wide Web and
Launch it.
Yeah, when are you going to launch it precisely?
Actually, I was thinking to go live this Friday, so I mean, it depends on the team because it's like every day they keep coming up with new ideas. Or let's go ahead and add this, you know, and add this and add this. So it's a lot of work. So I'm hopefully on Friday. But as of now that I'm talking to you, I'm looking on the site and it's looking good. So hopefully this coming Friday. If not, but I'm thinking by Sunday I should go live because it's almost ready.
Right.
And we're going to have links to Facebook, to Twitter, and then what the site will require is before people can go in and comment, they'll have to sign in so we can track our viewers.
Maybe we also understand that updating.
Go ahead.
We also understand that updating the site is not chocolate. Is it going to be daily? Is it going to be weekly? Oh, just tell us what is going to be the frequency of your updates.
Daily. It will be daily. I'm sure that you've watched my Facebook page, so it will be daily. I will have to update it daily.
Right.
You know, like I said, my main thing is to draw traffic to the Cameroon entertainment industry, and when you're current with what you're doing, and then you will pull that traffic. So I have to keep it up. So it has to be daily. I don't care if I have to spend 4 or 5 hours in front of my computer to update it. I'll have to do that.
Right.
It has to be daily.
Okay. Last question: how would you assess the Cameroonian online entertainment media landscape?
Yeah, media landscape.
Media landscape. Sorry.
I didn't get the question.
Yeah, how would you assess the Cameroonian entertainment online media landscape?
As of now?
Yes, as of now, just how would you evaluate what is going on online as far as Cameroonian entertainment is concerned?
But I am not happy with what is going on because it's like we don't have a lot of entertainment sites. The most sites that I know of is T-Top, and then there's this, is it ModeMaison and Empire, and some few small blocks, which is not good for our entertainment industry.
Right.
I will encourage, if anyone has like an idea to come up with an entertainment site, I mean, to give the Cameroon entertainment industry an exposure, go for it. Because that's what we need. Like, if you look at the Ghanaian entertainment industry, they have numerous sites, even with the Nigerian entertainment industry and the South African entertainment industry. And those things are what helps to boost up the entertainment industry. So, Cameroonians, please, I am pleading and I'm begging. If you have an idea, if you have anything that you can do to improve our entertainment industry in terms of media, like online, I would suggest that you go ahead and do it. Don't just sit back. Do it.
Okay, if you have something you think you can do to promote Cameroon online, go ahead and do it. The words of Maybelle Boma. Maybelle, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Okay, that was Maybelle Boma, the brain behind CameroonCelebrities.com, a new baby in the media landscape. And of course, Maybelle was talking to us from New York. Okay, for those of you who have just tuned in, you've not made any error. You are on the right place. Africa Radio, and of course, the show is African Cocktail, the 41st edition, coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest, Kanjo, Saran, and KK. This day, March the 5th, 2014. Let's have some music. Then we prepare to go back to Maryland and, of course, Massachusetts. Okay, from the Democratic Republic of Congo, we are now in Cameroon, where we meet Ngeya Laroud in that beautiful one titled There's Only Siong. And of course, we are doing the Makosa Ja now. It's exactly 23 minutes to 12. At midday, we shall probably be going to Cape Town, South Africa, where Solomon Atata will be on the line with what would have happened, what would have transpired within the week down south. Then Titus Banyo is also getting set, and of course we shall make a stopover in Essen, where our man Maxwell Ajik will be on the line. Une très très belle chanson sortie dans les années 90 au Cameroun. Ngeya Laroud, dans Désolution. Nous sommes au Cameroun, nous sommes dans l'Afrique centrale. African Cultural Community from Africa Radio with Ernest, KK, and Saran. Crystal Beauty and Naomi are back on the air. Crystal, once again, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Naomi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Saran, what do you have for Crystal this time?
Yes. Did you go to Our Ladies of the Law College, Mencon, or it was the choice of your parents?
Don't mind KK. She's not from Cameroon, so
Yeah,
she wouldn't pronounce Mancon the way you and I would do. So she wants to know if it was a choice to go to Lords.
Actually, it was not, because I did not even know about words until the day of the interview. So I had all the schools that I went to interview for, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into, so I had no clue. My parents made me go to it, and I just went to all these interviews, and when my acceptance came in, they said, okay, a Lady of Lord it is, and that's where I went.
And Crystal, did this years of communioning with solely female students shape your viewing of life in a particular way?
Not really, actually, because although studying with solely women, I mean, it was just for a period of time, you know. So I obviously graduated from there, and I've experienced, you know, school with in a mixed situation. Therefore, I feel like my way of viewing life changes all the time as I'm growing, basically. So I wouldn't say that school particularly shaped my way of thinking in any way.
But then, Crystal, some observers have held, you know, that being in an all-female academic environment leaves the individual with a very myopic perception of life, and consequently, it turns them into social misfit. Do you agree with that?
No, I do not agree. I don't think going to a school like that turns you into a social misfit. No, definitely not. I disagree. Because I'm not a social misfit, so I don't think it works.
Right, okay.
Right. And what do you think stand out as a strength with single-gender academy settings?
One of the strengths I actually think is very huge is that when you're in a mixed education, right, the boys and when there's boys and girls in the classroom, they tend to be an exaggeration of gender difference. You know, the guys want to do this and the girls want to do that. But when you have only girls, there's no limit to what you can. 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 There's no limit.
Most of the time, I try and always try my best to form a relationship, a friendship, and we support each other, you know, when it comes to being humble and having self-dignity and, you know, standing our ground and, you know, trying to move further in our career.
Now, let's talk about Cameroon specifically, right? Because different societies have their own different problems. Now, you deal more with Cameroonian filmmakers. Now, within the Cameroonian filmmaking community, what are the specific problems which actresses face?
I would say problems we face is probably not being professional in certain things. I feel like there's certain things that are unnecessary when it comes to acting, and people need to just take things more seriously and, you know, focus on what they're there to do.
Right.
Instead of, you know, gossip and other things that go on, you know, within the set. But I would say that's one of the biggest issues so far.
Do you have the impression that the female actor in Cameroon can assert herself and get to a point where she will be respected?
Yes. I believe if she carries herself well and has self-dignity and is humble, respectful, and doesn't dress or, you know, talk anyhow, people definitely give her that respect she deserves.
Right. Now, yours is a very young film industry, yet there are some female actors who are already making great inroads. Do you have some of them in mind whom you think they inspire you?
I would say for female actresses, Mercy Johnson is definitely one of my biggest inspirations. The fact that she is not only good at what she does as an actress, but even in person, she's very humble, very hardworking, and very, very respectful. So I admire her a lot when it comes to female actresses.
What about Cameroon?
For Cameroon, I would say actually one of my colleagues, Sandra Fondouce. She's very professional, very respectful. I worked with her on a few projects, and yes, she's definitely an inspiration, even though we're very close in age.
Okay. Thank you so much, Naomi and Crystal. I'll be back with you. Time for us to get some music. Then we start preparing to have our correspondents, our reporters who are spread all over the globe. African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo. Let's move back to Cameroon, where Ngea Larud is ready to give us this very beautiful one. Okay, we just listened there to Ngea Larud in that beautiful one titled Désolution. We are back to the GRC with Barbara Kanam, but then we're not going to have this song entirely because we have our friends of the Universal Achievement Awards who are already on the line to give us their regular weekly updates. And so, come March the 22nd, it's going to be a great big one here in the city of Columbus in Ohio, the Universal Achievement Awards maiden edition. And we have Hakeen Raman, one of the brains behind this project, who is already on the line to tell us just what has been going on. Hakeen, good morning.
Good morning, Ernest.
How are you doing today?
It's nice to have you online now this morning. The update as regards Universal Achievement Award is that some of the actors, directors, producers, they've gotten the ticket. So there's a certain fee that the viewers are going to enjoy themselves. They got the ticket this morning, and Arik is no Minds Play. You know, they mean business, and they are our sponsor, they are official airline. They've been doing this with us for a very long time, so there's perfection as regards their traveling coming. So those who are ready to be part of this history making in Colombo, first of its kind, should pick up their ticket this minute, this moment, from 2077 Brookfield Road of Maple, Kenya, in Columbus, Ohio, zip code 43229, or they call 614-638-1952, or they call 638-598-8269. Get your ticket. The moment is now.
Right, definitely get your ticket. And what can you tell our listeners? Because a lot of people want to know, hey, what is the show is going to be consistent? Is it going to be like us meeting them and partying? What is going to be offered to those people to go and grab that ticket right now?
It's a lot easier for them. You know, they can even log into our website, the Universal Achievement, www.Universal Achievement Award, and pick up the ticket there, or go to the website of Northland Performing Arts Center. They pick up the ticket. The tickets are available everywhere. It's in Jesus Power Church along Cleveland on the
right, but what is going to be on the agenda?
The ticket is spread out African shops. Some of these African markets that you see are tickets there. So we make it easily available for people. Why we are saying this is basically of one thing, that there will be no sale of ticket at the gate. So the better thing for them to do now is to get the ticket this moment. Is important, so that the gate will not be crowded. We've got to manage the situation that we won't allow that to happen. So if you miss now, you miss out. Don't be left out in the scheme of things.
Okay, one question, please. Since you say it wouldn't be no ticket selling at the gate, you know how some people are busy, some people cannot make it right now to buy the ticket, and they want to buy at the gate. So what's gonna happen if they show up, they can't get a ticket?
Okay, in that light, because of this your suggestion, we'll look into it. I will table it before the management of Universal Achievement Award. Whatever outcome we came out with, we will get in touch through Africa Radio, our official radio online. So definitely there should be room for adjustment. In any case, since people, Africans, don't believe in buying now, they believe in buying again. We'll look into it and make sure things are easier for everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Okay, that's Nollywood actor Hakeen Raman, who is also one of the brains behind the Universal Achievement Award, one of the latest recognition initiatives that will happen here in the city of Columbus, the state of Ohio, and in the United States of America. Thank you so much, Hakeen. We hope to have you again next week for updates on these very great events. African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo. It's exactly 5 minutes to midday, and we expect to have Souleyman talking to us from South Africa. And just to inform you that my co-host will soon be leaving us. They were just making a stopover to have this all-female feel of African Cocktail these days. So I want to thank them very much. But they're not leaving yet. They're definitely going to have their last words. But for us, the show continues. Listen to this one titled "Tu vas m'épouser, Jackie Dio."
Amigo
quitter les bancs. Tu vas m'épouser, oh. Ami, oh, oh, oh. Tu m'as volé 6 ans. Tu montes ou tu descends. Tu vas m'épouser, oh.
Toujours les problèmes sociaux. Jackie Bio chantait comme ça, tu vas m'épouser. On va découvrir ce qu'elle est en train de chanter, mais pour l'instant, on va dire au revoir à notre amis qui étaient avec nous ici dans le studio de Africa Radio, Seran et Keke. Girls, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm very privileged to have you, on this very special day when we are commemorating the International Day of the Woman here on African Cocktail. So you were with me for something like 1 hour 30 minutes. How was it? How was the experience?
The experience is fantastic. Always listening to this show whenever, our time is making it not possible for us to stay till the end of the show. But it is a great show. If you're listening, keep on listening. If you're not listening for some reason, somebody is telling you, jump in on this show every Sunday from 10:30 until 1 o'clock. And it is a show that, you get to embrace, you get to love, like the vibe about the show. I love it already, what is going on. And don't forget, iTunes is on Sundays. We got to get out of here, but we love you, Ernest. He's my jingle partner. Love him to death. Love the show. Always listening to the show. Always listen. I promise you. Like I always say, if you learn one thing a day, and I've learned a couple of things from his show today, so I'm grateful for that.
Keke, we've been having some young African women talking to us in this show, an actress, a TV show, a presenter. We had Maybelle of CameroonCelebrities.com. What can you say about these young Africans who are making great efforts?
I'm so, like she said earlier, like you learn from people every day, and I'm so happy to know that there are some young people that doing things like this. I have a dream myself. I always say that I want to write a book about my story because I was born in Liberia. I want to write about my story, and sometimes I give up. But now talking to those ladies, it's like it gets motivate me. Like you can always, no matter what, your dream can come true. And I'm so happy to be here. And I don't know what to say. And this is so nice. It was a good experience. And thank you for having me. And I love you for that. It's the best.
Okay, thank you so much, KK. Thank you, Saran. They are my Africa Radio colleagues. Great ladies. And of course, they will come back sometime,
yes,
on this show. Okay, thank you so much, and do have a very fantastic rest of the day. I know you're very busy, especially with academic exigencies. Okay, I just want to wish you a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And it was nice for having us.
Definitely.
Love it. It's very nice.
Okay, the show continues with the man. Okay, we're going to have Jackie Bio back on the air. Then we're prepared to see who we have next. Is it going to be our main guest or our correspondent? Well, just find out just right ahead.
J'ai tant galéré quand tu n'étais qu'un étudiant. Les années passent, je vais faner. Bonjour ma gare, j'en ai
Une très très belle chanson, une chanson captivante, et elle s'appelle Jackie Bio, Tu vas m'épouser. Et this is African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest, Kanjo. It's exactly 2 minutes past 12. Time for us to move to Europe and of course to Belgium. And if we are in Belgium, we'll definitely make a stop over in the metropolitan city of Antwerp. In Antwerp, where our correspondent Titus Bagnon is already on the line. Titus, you're welcome to the show.
Yes, Ernest, good morning to our listeners out there in the United States of America and other areas there, and we welcome you to the Diamond City, Antwerp. Ernest, we have been having some very good weather out here, and the kids are still to play or are yet to play on the snow, which is hard to come by this year. That said, as the women the world over are bracing up for this year's International Day of the Woman, the African women in Belgium will be celebrating it with a lot of pomp as the Cameroonian Makossa Guru, Petit Pays, or L'Avocat de François de Femme will be thrilling the population come March 8 in a musical concert. This concert coincides with its 30 years in music, Kenneth, and the population out here is anxiously waiting for him. Yes, Ernest, the African woman has always been the pivot of the family, and the rural woman, for instance, trains her to keep the family going. She goes to the farm, cultivates crops, does all the household chores, and sees to it that the children don't go astray. This makes her working all round. This is a good sign to show that if given the chance, the woman can greatly contribute to the development of Africa. Needless to say that in the past, the African woman took the second position in all aspects which concerns development. But then, when they went to Beijing, as it is commonly said, things took a different dimension, Ernest, and it is then that adages like what a man can do, a woman can do better. This is true to some extent because today we find women in top-ranking positions and they are doing just well. So therefore, Ernest, if the woman or the women are given the chance in Africa, they will contribute greatly to the development of this continent. The woman has always proven to be a good manager. And if we take, for example, Ernest, a woman who goes to the market to buy a piece of cloth and will decide to visit all the shops or many shops as possible to see where she can purchase at a cheaper rate. This is something that is quite absent in the main folk. The man is ever impatient in such conditions. The woman has therefore a great role to play, and if they are given the chance or if they are good managers keeping the home intact, then if they are given the chance, Ernest, they will do or perform a great role in developing the continent. Ernest, that was a bit we gathered from this area. I hope you have some questions for me. If not, then we are definitely going to take the rendezvous for next week.
Titus, let's take the rendezvous for next week. I will definitely have more questions for you next week. Simply because today, I beg your pardon, we are talking about women and we have them talking to us in this edition. So it's their day. Let them talk. Titus, thank you so much. I'll see you again next week. Okay, that was our Belgium correspondent reporting there from the city of Antwerp. Let's have some music. Then we will be back with more on this edition of African Cocktail. Who do we have next? They call her Lisa T. That one is titled Nostalgie.
Saturday.
Still to come in this edition of African Cocktail, we talk to a corporate communication specialist. Her name is Cynthia Tabe. She will be talking to us from the UK, precisely from the legendary city of London. Okay. Cynthia will be talking about ModeMaison PR, which is a communication agency that has been at the front line of things for the past couple of months. Cynthia is just back from Douala, where she celebrated her first year running that very prominent communication agency. That will be on African Cocktail just right ahead in this edition. My name is Ernest, Kanjo. Seran and Kiki just left, but then the show continues. We're having Lisa T in that beautiful one titled Nostalgie. Then just right ahead, we shall be moving to Boston to meet Crystal Beauty. Belle chanson sortie dans les années 90, Lisa T dans Nostalgie, c'est sur les ondes de Africa Radio avec votre ami de chaque mercredi, Ernest Kanjo. Il est exactement midi et 11 minutes. Okay, let's move back to Boston where Crystal Beauty is back on the line. Crystal, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Crystal, let's get into serious issues now and talk about the Crystal Beauty Show. You run an online TV host, an online TV show, as a matter of fact, and you actually conceived the Crystal Beauty Show, which has first been gaining grounds and is still making great inroads. From first instance, Crystal, one would go with the impression that this show focuses on fashion and beauty, because you call it the Crystal Beauty Show. Is that the case?
No, the show is not focused on beauty at all. Actually, I've not had any episode that's based on beauty. But the beauty in this concept, though, is about, because when I started the show, right, I wanted to focus it on Cameroonian talent. I wanted to focus it on promoting Cameroonian talent. So the beauty in this concept has to do with the beauty of Cameroonians, the beauty of their work, the beauty of their hearts, the beauty of what they can do and achieve in life.
Right.
That's what beauty in this context means.
Now, when you're creating this show, did you have the women folk at the back of your mind? If not necessarily, can we at least situate the place of the woman on the Crystal Beauty Show?
When I started it, no, I did not think about women per se, but like I said, my focus was on Cameroonians in general, Cameroonian talent in general, be it male or female. My focus was not just on women. But yeah, obviously women always have a role. I'm a woman. Just the fact that I'm hosting the show already put, that in the platform.
Right.
So yeah, definitely women always have a role. I love interviewing my fellow women. They are always exciting and empowering and inspiring. Yeah, they all have a place in the show.
And so who are some of these women you've had on the show so far?
I had Naomi actually on the show. I actually had Maybelle Boma once, but unfortunately it didn't come out right, so we couldn't publish that. But she had been on the show as well. And I've had recently Grace Follow, who is a gospel singer. And I've had Hollywood actress Haley Hirsch. I've had Sadie Cat. And yeah, those are the ones I can think of off the top of my mind.
Right. Now, I would imagine that before you get a woman on your show, for instance, you are kind of touched or moved by what she does. Would you assess, or how can you assess the works of the people you've had on your show so far? I'm talking about the female guests. And what was the reaction from the public when you had their show published?
Yeah, obviously, before I even, reach out to someone or want to interview somebody, I must have seen their work and I must have, loved it, loved what they're doing, or want to encourage them in what they're doing. So definitely, I give them, good criticism. Yes,
right.
So that's why, they're on the show in the first place. But regards to how audiences react to it, audiences love them, All our Cameroonian women are very beautiful. So that's the one thing I always get when people watch the show. Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, she's so talented, and they feel inspired by our women. So yeah, the audience reacts to them positively.
I understand you love every show you've done so far, but just permit me push you a little bit further. I to think you definitely have one of those shows which at any point in time your mind keeps, getting back to the show you would describe as your most favorite. For whatsoever reason, I don't know.
The last time I was on this show, actually, you asked me that question, and I told you, Naomi, Achu. Well, this time around, it has changed. Now, I'm very hooked with Grace Follow. She's amazing. She's very talented, and she's a young woman doing a lot of amazing things. She has her own charity organization, and she has views about music and and the way music should be and how gospel should be and all of that. It's just amazing. It's just mind blowing. So she's my new favorite.
All right.
Very often, yeah.
Okay, Crystal, I'll come back to you. Time for me to get other people on the air. Thanks so much for being with us in this edition of the show. Okay, Crystal Beauty of the Crystal Beauty Show. She's one of our guests in this edition of African Cocktail. We're going to have some music, then we'll probably move to Maryland to meet Naomi Dominion, film producer, actress, scriptwriter, and of course, casting director. Okay, let's go back to Jackie Bio in this one titled Ewusu.
você muito bom, tô mulher. Mudando que assim solta, né? Bebê na songo. Ui que cai, ui que cai, ui que cai. Ui que cai, ui que cai, ui que cai.
Okay, and of course, there is this big trial going on in the Republic of South Africa. Just what has been happening, the updates, and of course, the perspective is what we shall be listening from our man in Cape Town. And then, the South African woman, how different is she from other women on the continent, and of course other women around the world? Just what challenges does she face? What is the role of the woman in the South African society to the development of her community? Solomon Atta is on the line from Cape Town, and of course this is another episode of South Connect. At exactly 21 minutes past 12, we move to Cape Town to meet our man. Solomon, you are welcome.
Ernest, welcome to you and your listeners to Cape Town in South Africa. Cape Town is like 1,600 kilometers from Pretoria. You will ask me why Pretoria. That is because in the South Gauteng High Court, the trial of the most celebrated Paralympian, Oscar Pistorius, who killed his girlfriend on 14th of February 2013, the trial has begun. So far, 4 witnesses have been called, and yesterday was one of the most emotional day in court, the witness bursting into tears. Today has seen the defense taken off guard when SABC, South African Broadcasting Corporation, reports when a witness said Oscar Pistorius had fired a gun in a restaurant where more than 200 people were having meals, which caught the defense off guard. Ernest, the trial continues. This trial has taken off some tension from the International Women's Day activities for this weekend, moving On the 8th of March, South African women will join their counterparts worldwide to commemorate International Women's Day. Most events planned for the urban areas is because South Africa Women's Day is actually on the 9th of August. So there are events planned to celebrate the Women's Day. And Ernest, before I move forward, this country has already seen 2 deputy presidents, women's presidents, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka and Baleka Mbete. They have been the most prominent that have worked on the highest office of the land. And if you look back, there is a history of women's active citizenship stemming back from the multiracial march to Pretoria in 1956, in which more than 20,000 women from all backgrounds marched to the seat of government to demand that they be exempted from the past laws at the time. That is why the democratic government since 1994 set aside 9th August as National Women's Day and August as National Women's Month in South Africa. It is safe to say that the Constitution of South Africa tilts in favor of women. Despite all of these, Ernest, gender issues here are still prevalent like elsewhere in the world. Gender-based violence, sometimes all stakeholders work day in, day out to curb this challenge. Progress is being made and more are getting involved in these initiatives. On the 8th of March, in this country, there are several activities that have been planned, from lectures, symposiums, and gender educational activities. And as you know, all that is part of nation building, and it's always a work in progress. Souleyman Atta for African Cocktail in Cape Town, South Africa.
Souleyman Atta reporting there from Cape Town, that is in South Africa, Africa's most industrialized nation. Souleyman, thank you so much for that beautiful package there from Mandela's own country. Okay, we shall have Souleyman again next week in yet another South Connect package from South Africa. African Cocktail is coming to you from Africa Radio this day, Wednesday, March the 5th, 2014, with Ernest Kanjo, and there is Naomi Dominion, one of our main guests, who is talking to us from Maryland, and of course we have Crystal Beauty talking to us from Boston, Massachusetts. And of course, we are looking forward to having Maxwell Ardick report from Essen, that is in Germany. We connect the whole world. African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio. Let's listen to this one titled Mamang Odile. Exceptionally, we're having a male artist in this edition of African Cocktail. But then, that male artist is an artist with an exception. And his exception is that he is singing about his beloved mother, Mamang Odile. Tong Ebogo.
Odile, c'est la voix down. Et pour le musicien, il calme moi. Avec Achille Production. Wale wadango, anameneme. Mama Odile, wa mosa tewogo. Angane na milibi mama Odile meneme. Wale tale, anameneme. Tuo mekinga na wa mugol gaso. Mama ini osmaye mama Odile mungazeme. Don't say, oh, you must in my out to vote. I'm on a move, I am a jam no. I am a nigga. Everybody but a pool. Why dango, and I'm an enemy. Mamma Motilia, one more sad togo. I'm gonna have fire on the mode, gentleman and me. One day, and I'm in the mood. King I know I'm a vulgar so Mama any ounce in my ear but mouth don't got me. It don't say oh you might see my out I'm on a boy as so many boy I'm a temno I'm on a never you If I jamano, mama wamo, me mano bongo, me yo.
Tonton Ebogo, le fils de Ebogo Emerang, in that beautiful one titled Maman Odile, une très très belle chanson sortie dans les années 2000. C'était précisément en 2008, je crois. Okay, listen to that one. I'll be right back.
J'en connais qui frappent sur leur maman, qui injurient, qui font le sabotage. Mais moi j'ai dit le jour tu t'en iras, ma chère maman, je ne pourrai vivre meilleur. J'en connais qui vendent leur maman pour s'enrichir, mais quel désastre. Mais moi j'ai dit le jour tu t'en iras, ma chère maman, je ne pourrai vivre à m'aimer au Madame Clérégine, au fait comme Madame du cœur. Et en fait, ne parle pas que va pour l'avenir, il va que bala, il va que va bimo. Me matuna amboya me jamano, mama wamo, me manoporo, ameme odile. J'en connais qui blâment leur maman, qui terrorisent, mais quelle horreur. Me matuna amboya me ligue, mama wamo, me manoporo, me odile.
La femme est la mère de l'humanité. Doucement, faut pas bousculer la femme. Tonton Ebogo, in that beautiful one titled Maman Odile. What a fantastic way of glorifying one's mother. She brought you into this world, so you must give her the necessary respect. And of course, it is also said that if you respect your mother or your parents generally, then you shall live long. African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo at exactly 29 minutes to 1. Time for us to move to Maryland to meet our guest Naomi Dominion. Naomi, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Naomi, I would like us to look at your script writing experience. For how long have you been writing scripts?
About a year or two now.
And how many scripts have you written so far?
So far, I've written about 3 scripts total.
Right. 3 full scripts, you mean?
Yes.
And just like I asked Crystal a while ago, when you're writing your script, do you always have the woman at the back of your mind?
Yes, I do, because that's one of my main targets, is the woman in the world in general, for standing up for themselves, or, you know, being able to overcome situations that we face on everyday experiences, and the fact that we have to always try and gain respect, because mostly men are the ones that they normally choose over us, so I always support the woman, yes.
Now, African women specifically face numerous problems. Do you have plans to address some of these problems, especially the very serious ones, you know, in the scripts you're going to be writing in the future?
Yes, I do. When it comes to abuse, when it comes to so many different aspects, I try and address it as much as I can in every script that I write, every story that I write about. It has something to do with empowering women in society, because it's women who hold this world in general when it comes to childbearing and everything. So without us, things can't go around. So definitely, I always have it in my mind, and I always try and focus and, touch each and every area that I can as much as possible.
Right. Some writers, are so gender biased to an extent that they have the tendency to downplay on characters, in some of their writings. Now, as a writer, would you do a story that downplays, on the female character, for instance, or would you maintain that gender balance?
I try and be fair, even though I do support women and women empowerment, but I try and be fair on both women and men, because men also go through things as well. So mostly my scripts are always, supporting each gender, not just focusing on one particular gender.
Writing per se is not chocolate. I must say that.
At all.
So, could you just explain the process of your script writing from conception to completion? How do you go about it, and how do you get inspired?
Well, mostly I have an idea, and I work on that idea and stretch it out to form something very creative. I always try and be as creative as possible, and every script I write is completely different. None of them are ever similar to each other. And I normally start off with a summary or a storyline, and I break it down in small sections in order to come up with each scenario and each scene that will be involved in telling the story and making the story, and being able to deliver the message that I have, that idea that I had from the start at the beginning of the story.
Has any of your stories been shot yet?
Pardon?
Has any of your story been shot?
Have been shot? Yes. Actually, the first movie I did, Deep Within, the first story I wrote, Deep Within, has been shot already. It was last year, November. Be out anytime soon.
Right. Since we're talking about women today, I would like to use this opportunity to ask you to assess the performance of the female characters in that story of yours, which was shot a couple of months ago.
Okay. For the actors I had, each and every actor I chose for that movie in particular, they delivered the best way they could, and they were very, very supportive of me, knowing that it was my first project that I actually shot by myself. And it was a very interesting experience, very, very interesting, and I learned a lot from it. And based on what I learned, this was going to help me get better and better at what I'm doing.
Okay, Naomi, we will come back to you. Time for us to move to Ngamne, where Maxell is ready to file in. Thank you so much, Naomi. I'll be back with you.
No problem. All right, then.
Okay, her name is Naomi Domillon. She's one of our main guests in this edition of the show. Okay, let's have some music as we prepare the grounds to move to Europe. And in Europe, we shall be talking to Maxell Ajik, our Germany correspondent. Who do we have next? Longelam. Okay, Beautiful One Day by Grace Decker. Listen to that.
Beba
Still to come, our London stopover, where we're going to meet Cynthia Tabe to talk about the ModeMaison PR communications agency. And of course, Cynthia will be getting in touch with us anytime from now. So don't go away. Stay with us as we dish out the best of the best. Only on African Cocktail. And of course, on Africa Radio with your Wednesday friend, Ernest Kanjo. And lest I forget, the next edition of African Cocktail comes up next Thursday, exceptionally, because this presenter won't be available on Wednesday. So we are exceptionally taking the program to Thursday, the 13th of March. That is Thursday next week. So we won't be here on Wednesday live, but then there will be a rerun or a rebroadcast of this edition of African Cocktail on Wednesday, that is the 12th of March. So we are back here on Thursday with yet another edition, a brand new one, of course, of African Cocktail. Longela by Grace Decker. So far, we've already had Maybelle Boma, who talked about the Cameroon celebrities.com. We also had Souleyman Atta, who flies in from Cape Town, South Africa. And of course, Titles was speaking from Antwerp, Belgium. Then we've been having Naomi and Crystal, our main guests in this edition of the show. We are getting set to move to Essen, that is in the west region of Germany, where Marcel Adjik will be telling us about the African woman and her life in that part of the world. But then, before we get there, listen to this one. It's by Grace Decker, Longue Lame. Grace Decker Annie Anzoa.
depuis le temps que l'on s'est.
And that one is titled Oublier Mon Passé. It's coming to you from Africa Radio this day, Wednesday, March the 5th, 2014 with Ernest Kanjo. It's exactly 18 minutes to 1 and we are still expecting the cable from Germany and of course Cynthia Tabe, who will be talking to us from London just in this edition of the show. Musically speaking, we are still in Central Africa and of course the great nation of Cameroon. On t'a dit ceci, on t'a dit cela. Annie Answer enjoining you to throw her past behind and of course look into the future. In that beautiful one titled Oublier Mon Passé. It's a beautiful Makosa tune coming to you from Cameroon. And of course the show is African Cocktail with Ernest Kanjo. At exactly 1:15, time for us to move to Germany where our correspondent is already on the line. His name is Marcel Adjek. Marcel, you are welcome to African Cocktail.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Germany. The struggle for equality, justice, peace, and development among men and women is no new phenomenon across Africa and the world. With the strike on women empowerment and gender-sensible policies, the place of the African woman or girl child has changed in its landscape. That while they still look at the traditional roles, they can also break through the traditional roles and aspire to take any other role they could dream of. Gone are the days when you could rarely find a woman in certain positions, let alone decision-making processes in most African countries. Today, the African woman has proven capable and effective leadership. The African girl can now look for examples far and wide for inspiration. Ernest, you will agree with me that peace agreements that include women are more durable. And of course, parliaments with more women will certainly enact more legislation on key social issues such as health, education, anti-discrimination, and child support. The International Women's Day, therefore, I think serves as a rallying point to build support for women's rights and participation in the socio-economic and political issues. Somebody will even ask the question why they do celebrate. Certainly, for the promotion of gender equality and improving the women's status. It is in this light that week-long activities were organized for the first time by the African Ivory and a sister in Germany. We started last Saturday, March 2, in the North Westphalian city of Essen, under the theme Inspiring Change, Celebrating Our Women. This brought together Africans of all walks of life to listen to the entrepreneurial women panelists share their inspirational stories and give lectures on pertinent women issues amongst African and especially activities which can enhance the smooth integration and upbringing of the children born to African families in Germany. According to observers, the message that echoed through this event was that women empowerment is not about fighting men, but working with them. Certainly the activities continue this week and will certainly end up with ending up with a gala on March 8th, the International Day of the Woman. Well, we'll see that across Africa, the tremendous dynamic strides that have been made over the last decade in women's empowerment, especially in areas of state governance, has proven that the empowering women or the empowerment of women is certainly synonymous to a transformative change, be it in social, economic, or political milieu. Examples abound. Countries like Rwanda have earned a name as the #1 country in the world in gender equality, particularly in reference to positions in parliament, where the revised constitution advocates for 30% of seats to women and encourage gender-based budgeting, thereby leading to a sustainable development in their communities, showing a different landscape of what gender parity can do in African communities. Atik Maxwell in Essen, Germany. And if you have more questions, then I'm open to the questions.
Definitely, we'll have some questions for you next week, Maxwell. I would like us to just join the women in collaborating or commemorating the International Women's Day. It was a rich package from you out there in Essen. Thank you so much, Maxwell. I'll be with you again next week. Okay, that was Maxwell Adjik, our Germany correspondent, giving us the updates as far as the African woman is concerned out there in Europe and precisely in Deutschland. Okay. So what do we have next? Let's go to Gabon and meet Patience Daboni, this beautiful one titled On Vous Connaît. It was another great hit way back in 2010. Listen to it then, we'll be right back.
Mama lubile miyae, mama yosu agiyange. Pourra s'aoulever, ne le rends pas par le mal. Oti mon but au Cali, les jalouiers, écoutez.
And also, if everything goes as planned, we shall be talking to one of the actresses in an upcoming Cameroonian movie titled The Storm. The Storm will be premiered on Saturday, March the 29th, 2014. Merosanda will definitely stop by to tell us about her involvement in this project. The Storm, like I said, is written by Kenneth Ngamne and produced by Emmanuel Takuzi. Kenneth will definitely also have to say a word about the upcoming premiere in this edition of African Cocktail. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Takuzi will be our main guest on Wednesday, the 26th of March, 2014.
La sœur de l'autre. David et la Mixa, écoute-moi ça. Mamri bebari bafe, mamri bebele kiratari mama. Allori, enya babu wa tuzuga tia, ebera tuzuga mame maloro. Votre traverse, on a dit que il a fait ci, il a fait ça. Jandelebe, l'exalala pour na mari, c'est mauvais. Bele bon amour, Boma, amana bele yeni kalila. Il est vite ma bourreau, bele kiri makali, on vous connaît. Avec leur sasa wasa, ils veulent tout gâter. Non, 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 on vous connaît. Otunga Mathias, Mayualo. Longtemps réussi sa vie. Pourquoi tu veux venir gaspiller? Le couple là s'aime beaucoup. Pourquoi tu veux venir au milieu? L'aîné avant la honte. Ne venez plus nous traumatiser. On vous connaît. Oui, on vous connaît. Rigobert et Kamboyandeka. Oyoka. Dale,
Okay, from West Africa and precisely from Cameroon, we move to West Africa to meet Aisha Kone in that one titled Desiede. Aisha Kone is from Guinea Conakry. Okay, this is African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo. Time for us to move back to Boston, Massachusetts, where our main guest is back on the line. Crystal Beauty has been with us since the start of this edition of the show. So, Crystal, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So, Crystal, so far, how would you assess the conversation?
The conversations have been going great. I'm actually learning a lot.
Okay, right. Crystal, let's come back to the Crystal Beauty show. Virtually, you run this show alone, technically and artistically. First, tell us, how do you go about the entire production process?
First of all, I have to first of all find a talent, and set up a date for an interview. Depending on where the person is, sometimes I do my interviews via Skype. So if the person is somewhere that I can get to at that point, or the person can get to me at that point, we do the interview via Skype. And if that happens, I have an app on my computer that I use to record the Skype call, which comes out as a video. So when I'm done with that, I edit it and I put it out. But when I'm doing the live interview, once in a while, I always have somebody that helps me, with the camera. But in situations where I don't have that, I use a tripod and, just set it up in front of me and the guest and, go ahead with the interview. And after which I edit the video myself and, put it out and promote it as well.
This is definitely a challenge when you have to place the tripod, rush back, take your position besides your guests and you're doing the talking. Then you go back to the studio, you do the editing, and of course you upload it online. It's such a challenge, I can imagine.
Yeah, it is. I actually did that one time, and I went to Maryland for this interview, used a tripod to do the interview, and then I didn't check it. So when I went back home, I realized that in this interview, you could see the guest one side of his head, and it was just one side of his body that was taken, and obviously I was not even in the shot at all. So things like that do happen sometimes when, the technical stuff doesn't go well.
And apart from doing the talking and handling the machines alone, what other challenges do you face running this project?
Editing as well is a challenge because sometimes I have and because obviously I pictured it in my mind how I want it to look like, but because I don't have the skill as an editor, I can't quite get it out the way I'm thinking about it. So that's a challenge I have sometimes.
Do you find it easy to have people to interview on your show?
No. Actually, yes and no. Because there's some people that I already have a relationship with that if I contact them and, people like Ken who is currently listening, if I contact them right now and say, I want to have you on my show, they're going to be willing to drop everything and be on the show, But then there's some people that you contact them and then they're going to send you to their managers and, they want to do all this things and it takes a whole process and sometimes you even go through all of that and end up not having them. So yeah, sometimes that happens.
Do you think the Crystal Beauty show can be a platform, to carry along with the cause of the woman, that is to handle the challenges the woman faces in society?
Of course. The beauty about the Crystal Beauty show is that it's a platform for everybody. Okay, I don't want to limit it to just women or just entertainment or just a specific thing. It's very broad. I want everybody's welcome on the show. It doesn't matter your race, your gender, your country of origin, whatever it is that you have that you want to talk about. you're always welcome on the show. So yes, definitely, I'm a woman. I'm also an activist for women. So yeah, I have women issues by heart. I love to talk about those things and deal with those things, but I don't want that to be the focus of my show. Once in a while, we have topics like that, but the show is very broad.
I also understand from time to time you can be caught watching other shows. Which are some of these ones?
I always watch the Sopra show. Wait, do you mean African shows or just shows in general?
Well, just shows in general.
Okay, shows in general, I like the Ellen Show. I like Wendy Williams. I like Oprah, even though she's not doing much of the show anymore. And when it comes to the African, I like the Sopra show. I love that particular one like crazy. And you also see me watching the Pride In show. So yeah, the shows I tend to watch.
I quite remember when we had you on this show some time ago to talk about a particular episode. We were focused on you having to meet Hollywood artists. Now, as a young African girl, how do you look at yourself trying to penetrate this very giant film industry and getting some of the artists there to talk with you?
It's not easy. Like someone mentioned earlier on the show, about Lupita being a symbol. It's not every African that gets to that point. And even the African Americans in America, it's hard. As a black woman to get to a certain point. So obviously it's difficult. It's a challenge. But I keep striving hard every day, and I don't look back. I don't get discouraged. I just do what I have to do, and I keep the communication going with all the people I have on my show. So, yeah.
I also mentioned somewhere that Lupita has become everyone's dream guest on their show. Are you part of these people who yearn to have this new sensation?
Oh yes. I'm not as crazy about Lupita as everyone is, but just the fact that she's a hardworking lady, and I was reading through her biography the other day, and it actually made me feel good about myself, because sometimes I feel bad that I'm studying entertainment business while other people are studying so-called regular fields. And when I was reading through her biography, I noticed that she went to Yale and she studied drama, and I was like, okay, this is interesting, and I could relate to her on that level. So yeah, definitely I like her, I admire her spirit and everything. Yeah.
Crystal, if Lupita shows up on your show today and you are given the chance to ask her just one question, what would that question be?
Just one question.
Just one, not two.
That's a tough one. I'll ask her what advice she has for black women.
Right. Okay. Well, let's look on to that. Thank you so much, Crystal. I'll be back with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Crystal Beauty talking to us from Boston, Massachusetts. Is one of our two main guests in this edition of African Cocktail. We're still looking forward to have our corporate communication specialist, Cynthia Tabe, who will be talking to us from London. Then we also hope to have Mero Sanda, actress, and one of the stars in The Storm, which will be premiered on March the 29th. Then we shall have our second resource person to run off this edition of the show. His name is Kenneth Ngamne. Naomi Dominion is still on standby. African Cocktail coming to you from Africa Radio. Let's get back to Aisha Cornet in this beautiful one titled Décider.
Le male coraggio io saremo quante soma allo bibe che mi fevi no ma che mo conondi io andrei tara de lui mi decide. Alugine ni Jimmy Fabi no make moda baby. Wajiri tara dem wanya wakali. Alubidi mobility ma. Afonte mobility ve mobility na. Alubidi wali batima sine. Afonte wali batife wali bana. Alubidi avion tima. Afonte avion tife avion yetina. Alubidi lulu tima sine. Afonte lulu tife lulu yebana. Alubidi moto tima. Ibedi neso tima usikoche de. Ifabidi mula kolomi mano kera mosa vedi. Iwajeri tara de mwanya wakali. Nebara deside nyakuta. Mokola ukala lidi. Kola bambali kala lidi. Ikana la bodi bila. Sumana kola na yadu gelema. Mokola ukala lidi. Kola bambali kala lidi. Ikana la bodi bila. Sumana kola na yadu gelema. Gelema. Mokola kanto gelema. Gelema. Mokola kanto gelema. Gelema. Mokola kanto gelema.
La musique folklorique de l'Afrique de l'Ouest, elle s'appelle Aïcha Kone dans Décider. C'est sur les ondes de Africa Radio avec votre ami de chaque mercredi, Ernest Kanjo. Okay, let's move to Maryland where Naomi is back on the line. Welcome back on the show, Naomi.
Thank you.
Okay, Naomi, let's come back to your life as a movie producer. And I've always said that movie production, is not biscuits, it's not chocolate, because I've had to interact quite much with these people. And so recently you got into production, an area which is not usually so easy to tread on. First, what motivated you?
I would say the thing that motivates me is the passion I have for acting in general and anything concerning production. If you don't have that passion, it's very hard for you to be focused and do it with all your heart, all your might. So I would say that passion is what motivates me daily. That passion I've initially had since a while ago.
Right. And so you did this first movie a couple of months ago, and I understand you had to mobilize a lot of people. As a young girl, how did you manage this big crowd around you?
The fact that I guess the kind of person I am, a lot of people were willing to help me and go out of their way to be able to make sure that the project was a success. And when it concerns, I was able to lodge everyone who was out of state and, provide everything that they needed. So everything worked out fine, really well. And everyone was always supportive, very supportive of me, and stuck out throughout the entire project till the end.
Now, earlier on the show, you said men have this tendency of not being so friendly to women, especially in the business you're doing.
Yeah.
Now, let me throw this back to you. How do you approach men in your business? How do you always look at them, and how do they always look at you?
Well, when it concerns men, I'm very straightforward. I'm very direct, very professional. I try and always make sure I get my point across without trying to behave in a flirtatious or any kind of derogatory behavior or manner. And I think being straightforward and honest with them is what works for me. So they tend to respect me and understand that I'm here to do business and not otherwise. So.
And talking about the ones you had in this your maiden production, how was the relationship with them? Were you satisfied at the end of the day?
Yes, I would say a majority. Yes, I was very satisfied. They were professional. They came and did what they had to do, and they tried their best to make sure that everything worked out fine concerning either me or any of the other cast members. They were very, very cooperative and very professional throughout the project.
Now, let me point out something that has been at the center of controversy. Most movie viewers and some observers have criticized what they describe as very unnecessarily indecent costumes in some movies. As a casting director, would you have your male actors appear decent while the female ones appear otherwise?
No, I would not. I always make sure that in any movie I'm involved in or I'm writing a script for, that the characters are portrayed as very decent, at least as a character that requires them to be dressed a certain way. But if it's not like a character like that, I always that my actors, both male and female, are dressed in a decent manner and not exposing any kind of body part to the public.
So do you always put a strict eye on this when you're working with actors and actresses?
Yes, I'm very, very strict when it comes to costume, makeup, hair, every single thing concerning them. I'm very, very strict in that aspect.
Okay, Naomi, we'll come back to you. Looks like we will soon be going to London, where Cynthia Tabe will be getting to us anytime from now. Thank you so much, Naomi. And to you listening to us out there, we want to say we thank you so much. You are in the right place. Musically speaking, we are moving across West Africa, and from Guinea-Conakry, let us go to Nigeria. And this is a special tune. I love it so much. It's a remix of what Prince Nico Mbarga did some time ago. But this time, Tilda thought it wise to give it her own coloration. Tilda in Christiana.
Oh, Christiana. Christiana, yeah, yeah. Christiana jecha college na tabu. Ngoya Christiana kwa dobe kaigwa kubo na chocho. Christiana sim, I am sorry, oh. Aganyenyege ho kenyuta mwanyozo. Maje, yeah, yeah. Listen away. Christiana, yeah. Christiana, jecha college na tao. Ngoya Christiana, wadobe gani wako na chocho. Christiana, sim, I am sorry, oh.
There's been a serious evolution of the Cameroonian corporate communication industry, and of course we have lots and lots of young Cameroonians who are doing great strides as far as this genre of communication is concerned. And for those of you Cameroonians who are involved in the entertainment platform and of course who are on social network, you should by now know that she is one of the most prominent promoters of entertainment online. And every project she gets into turns out to be a resounding success. Hey, think about the sensation Stanley Eno. Think about the upcoming movie Viri, which is yet to be made public, but then which has already made great inroads, and of course everybody is awaiting this great movie like nothing, like that ever happened. And of course, if they ask me to pick any public relations communicator or any promoter of Cameroonian entertainment, I'll definitely pick her. And this is simply because she has proven her worth, and of course she knows the art which she has chosen. Her name is Cynthia Tabe. She is our next guest in this edition of African Cocktail. Okay, Cynthia Tabe is one of the people behind the ModeMaison PR, which is one of Cameroon's most prominent corporate communication outfits nowadays. And of course, it is run from Douala, Cameroon. But then Cynthia is based in London, that is in the UK. Recently, she went to Cameroon to celebrate the first year of existence of this very big communication outfit. She's back to London and ready to tell us the story of that big event. Cynthia, you're welcome to African Cocktail.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, how is the UK this evening?
It's been a good day today. No rain, thank God, and it wasn't so cold. So maybe spring is here.
Right. Okay, Cynthia, you recently celebrated the first anniversary of your communication agency, that is the ModeMaison PR. Yes, Cynthia, I'm getting you. Hello?
Yes, I can't hear you. What did you say?
Yes, I said that you recently celebrated the first anniversary of ModeMaison PR. That is your communication outfit. First, when precisely did you create this agency, and what are its activities?
ModeMaison PR went operational from March of last year, and our activities basically are a buzz-loving new style communications agency with added services which include marketing, branding, rental and styling through our own hand-picked showroom items, and we also provide small-scale event planning and management. for our clients.
Right. So when you were creating this communication outfit, what did you have at the back of your mind to promote what is Cameroonian, or just tell us?
Well, my main objective was to see to it that the showbiz industry in Cameroon become gradually professional. In my own little corner, I saw a lot of talent, but with little or no packaging, and I really wanted to get involved in the clean-up stage, which is now by working with a few brands at a time. So to allow, the talents within an industry to have like a professional edge.
So what is your scope of coverage? Do you also intend to go beyond Cameroon?
Yes, we definitely do. I mean, we focus on the showbiz sector, which is fashion, music, lifestyle, film, beauty, and small businesses who also add value to the entertainment industry. We work with Cameroonian brands, and we also work with brands that are out of Cameroon. I mean, we work with Nina Evans, who's based in Accra, Ghana. We've also worked with Adama Paris, who's based in Paris, and also in Dakar, Senegal. So we do work in Cameroon as well as outside Cameroon, but our focus is mainly Africa.
When you mention Ghana, you mention Paris in France. It means that you are actually stretching out there. And I also understand that you work with a lot of people as well and other entities. Who are some of your partners, and just how do you relate with them?
Well, we have worked with a few brands in music, fashion, and film since we incepted. With the main ones being Stanley Ernest, Tiana, Daddy Black, based in Cameroon. We worked with Nabil, who's also Cameroon, but based in Belgium. I've cited Adama Paris and Nina Evans, who are not Cameroonians. We've also worked with the film brand V, which is yet to be released. Basically, we provide them with press, public assistance, we advise them on branding, we handle their social media feeds, and I mean, our main objective overall is to create a general buzz for them and to get their brand visible.
1 year on the field, Cynthia, how would you assess the progress of ModeMaison PR?
I believe we have done quite a bit this past year. We wanted to really revolutionize the entertainment scene, and we are doing so already. People already talk about ModeMaison PR, and they associate us with change, and that to myself and to Karen, my assistant in Douala, that's a very great thing.
You say you are being associated with change, which means that you are bringing in something new in the sector. But could you just pinpoint some of your landmark achievements?
Well, I would say the fact that we've made we've made people to be aware of who we are, ModeMaison PR as a whole. So that's an achievement, because it's not easy to start something and then get people to notice you. So we have managed to do that in a year. And also working with bold statement brands such as Viri, the movie, and Stanley Renault have also been an achievement, because Viri is a film that's really, I mean, it's totally different from the other Cameroonian films in terms of quality, the quality of the direction, quality of the cast. And Stanley, I mean, he's come through. It's only been a year or so since he's come through, and you can see how he's going from strength to strength. So for us, that's an achievement. And also, I mean, the clients that we're working with, they're such a great talent. So to be able to have people, such talented people, choose to work with us, it's an achievement.
Cynthia, you agree with me that there is nothing which is all rosary. You definitely would have faced some challenges this far. What are these challenges?
The challenge for us still exists in the minds of people. So what we're going to do is really work hard to erase the mentality of our people with regards to how showbiz especially needs to be. But we know that we are going to get there eventually, whether it's by hook or by crook, and we're not going to give up. So we are going to get there. We're going to eventually get people to see and to have the right mentality and to view things in a professional way and to want to work in a professional way, because at the end of the day, it's going to be beneficial for their brand.
Right. So what are some of the priority projects as ModeMaison PR begins its second year?
Basically, for this second year, we would like to have more clients. we would like to be more involved in video and photo shoot styling, imagery for artists. We would like to lead seminars on our field, which is, public relations, marketing and branding, and styling as well. And overall, we are pressing on the project ModeMaison PR because really that's the main project. We want to create a reputation for ourselves, and we also want to increase our popularity through our clients and also the small events that we throw. So that's what we want to do this coming year.
Now, Cynthia, you just flew back to London after spending some time in Cameroon. Tell us about the kind of entertainment landscape you witness in your country, especially during this evolutionary epoch.
The entertainment in Cameroon is growing. Whilst I was there was a massive concert organized by MTN where Tuesdays, David came to town and met, we had our own, Jay-Z on stage as well with them. I think it was in Yaoundé, there was Chidinma and another, I think it's a Paris-based artist called Zaho, who they were also in town. And also after I left, Inyanya came to town for a beer brand's promo. So you see, the entertainment side is buzzing with a spectacular melange of Cameroon and foreign artists. It's such a I think it's a very good thing because then it also helps our artists to see when they're interacting with all these foreign artists, they can, learn a few things, and it's in the end good for us.
And when you look at the Cameroonian corporate communication sector, would you say we've covered some grounds?
This sector, in my opinion, is still very much lacking in their communication. The corporate brands seem to rely heavily on advertising rather than PR. And to me, I just wonder, is it the Francophone side enough? And I seem to believe so because PR is very much an Anglophone concept, and it seems a bit hard for the French-speaking side to grasp this. They rely more on advertising, and I think that's where the corporate section in Cameroon is. I think it's going to take some time before they, to change again their minds to see that, you cannot just have advertising without PR. As PR actually is what gets your advertising effective, makes it effective.
Cynthia, there are artists and other entities who've definitely been listening to us, and they must have been inspired. And so if they want to get to you, how would they do that?
Well, they can reach us by phone, they can reach us by email, by Facebook, by Twitter, by Instagram, by Pinterest, and even through our blog online. But just as a quick reference, so that I don't have to give all the information of, where we are, the easiest bit is, to find us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @ModeMaison PR. So you can join us there and we can take it from there. If you're a Facebook user, the page is very active. You can drop us a line, or you can contact me, Cynthia Tabe, directly by sending me an email on Facebook, and I sure will respond. So we're definitely open for either whether short-term or long-term collaboration. We're definitely open for that.
Cynthia, thank you so much. The Francophone will say, je vous donne le chapeau. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Do have a fantastic day out there in London. Her name is Cynthia Tabe. She's a specialist there in PR, and she runs the ModeMaison PR, which is a Cameroonian outfit run from Bonamusa di Douala. Okay. Thank you so much, Cynthia, and we hope to have her again some other time on the show. Let's go back to Tilda while we prepare to go back to Maryland and Boston and have the last segment of this very beautiful conversations we're having with our main guests. Meantime, the indomitable lions of Cameroon will be taking on their Portuguese counterparts this evening in just a couple of minutes for one of the FIFA friendlies ahead of the FIFA World Cup that comes up sometime in June. So we're wishing the Lions good luck, and we know Eto'o and Co will definitely make the entire nation proud once again. So we want to say good luck, boys. African Cocktail coming to from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo. Just right ahead, we shall be moving to Maryland and of course to Massachusetts. Okay, we're moving from Nigeria to Sierra Leone, where we meet Lady Felicia in that beautiful one. She calls it African music. Okay, Lady Felicia truly loves African music. I do, and I know you do as well, Cynthia, Tabe, and I know that you love African music, Crystal, Beauty, and of course Naomi, determined, nice people in this edition of African Cocktail, devoted to the African woman and her prospects. Okay, this is Lady Felicia's song for Africa titled African Music. She hails from Sierra Leone, that diamond-rich West African country, and that beautiful one is coming to you from African Cocktail. We now move back to Maryland, where Naomi is back on the air. Naomi, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Naomi, there is this almost permanent impression that women in cinema, are generally irresponsible. What can you say about that?
I could agree with that partially. At times, it depends on the situation, because not every female is the same. But for majority, certain females carry themselves a certain way, which is not the best way, I feel, to present yourself, especially when you're working with something concerning business or your career in general. There's a certain way you should be more decent about the things you do and the way you dress and the way you talk to people. Yeah, I can agree with that in some kind of way.
Okay, so we're definitely going to be talking about Lupita Nyong'o until we stop talking about her. So when you watch this Kenyan-born actress get on the podium to pick up her Oscars last Sunday, just describe the kind of feelings you had at that time.
I actually didn't get a chance to watch it when it was airing, but I did hear about it. I did see some about it, and I would definitely say she's a big motivation, inspiration to us young African women and young women in general worldwide. So I'm very, very proud of her and what she's doing.
So would you say that would you say that her example is an eye opener to those African parents who discourage their daughters from getting into cinema?
Yes, definitely, because most of our parents do not support our career choice, whether male or female, as an actress or a singer, and she definitely is good representative of us young women in the industry and showing that we can actually make it once we set our minds to something.
Now, to you, if an aspiring African actress wants to have such an achievement, especially in today's very competitive world, what must they do?
I would say stay humble. Biggest thing I can tell any young woman or male out there: stay humble and be focused, and do what you have to do, and give your best, give your all into it. Put as much effort as you can in order to deliver as you're given.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, let me go back to this question and, ask it the other way around. There are these observers who hold that women in cinema and other forms of entertainment cannot be role models, especially as far as moral rectitude is concerned. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that, because, as I said, in every case is different. There are women out there, to name quite a few, Omotala, Jalad, Nigerian actress. There's a few women out there who have been able to juggle both their career as an actress and also their personal life, and set a good example and be a good role model to their children and other young women out there. And those are people who even inspired me as well. So it's possible. It's possible to be able to still portray that decency and mother-like figure, and just the way you go about it, the way you carry yourself, as I said, has a lot to do with it.
Okay, let's move over to Boston. Crystal Beauty, your show is fast pulling a lot of attention, and there's this huge crowd, gradually building around you. This means celebrity status is drawing closer. Are you scared? And tell me, how do you feel about the fact that not long from now you shall be having these Herculean responsibilities, that come with stardom?
I'm not scared at all. I actually feel like I've already started getting those things, all those things that come with you being recognized, as a public figure happening right now, and I think I'm doing my best to handle them the right way. And it's a choice of career we are in, and I feel like everybody should be ready to have that sort of mind that, okay, these things are going to happen. So have just be ready for it, and when it comes, you just handle it the best you can.
Now, you were once Immaculate B. Today you are Crystal Beauty. What have your friends been telling you since you became Crystal Beauty? And what have you been telling them?
And are you talking with regards to the name, or?
Of course, I'm talking in regards to the name.
Okay, well, I'm still Immaculate B. It's not like I've changed. I've changed my name. No, I'm still Immaculate. Behind the cameras, I'm Immaculate. In front of the camera,
but what I mean is that you are more identified now as Crystal Beauty than even Immaculate B.
Oh yes, very true. I think people like Crystal. The name is a nice name, and I haven't had any complaints about it, actually. Even my mom calls me Crystal sometimes.
Right. And so now that you have the status of being a Crystal Beauty, what are they telling you? I mean, your ordinary friends with whom you went to school, you chilled out in the neighborhoods together?
They're proud of me, and a lot of them are actually surprised, because back in the day I was a very shy person. You wouldn't see me. I wouldn't even be able to talk in front of people. But now they see me actually running in the show, and they're like, "Wow, is this the Immaculate I know, or I used to know?" So some of them are still like, they're not quite sure if I'm the same person. So yeah, but apart from that, they're very encouraging, they're very supportive. Yeah.
Right. And so, would you advise any aspiring young girl to run such a project as an online TV show? In other words, would you back out, if you had a chance to, having faced lots and lots of challenges?
I will not back out, okay, because the Crystal Beauty show is my happy place. It makes me happy. That's the one thing that I have control over. That's the one thing that, I do that makes me really, really happy. So sometimes, even though I'm going through a lot of things in life, when I'm on the Crystal Beauty show, it's a whole different level of joy that comes with me. So it depends on the reasons why the person wants to get into what they're getting into. You know what I mean? So if you want to host an online talk show just because you want the fame, then that's a whole different, story. But if you have a passion for it, definitely I advise anybody to have a passion for something, just go for it,
Okay, if you have a passion for something, just go for it. Thank you so much, Crystal and Naomi. I'll be back with you to run off this conversation. Time for me to go to Minnesota, where one of our resource persons has his own assessment of what has been said on this program so far. Okay, African Cocktail is coming to you from Africa Radio. We are playing the last minutes of the game. Let's listen to Monique Seka in this one titled Okamam, a 1995 piece. Then we shall be coming back to run off. Okay, his name is Kenneth Ngamne. He has the task to listen to what we're talking about and, of course, give his own assessment. Kenneth is one of our resource persons on this show. And now Kenneth is on the line from Minnesota. Kenneth, you're welcome on the show.
Thank you very much for having me again, Mr. Ernest.
Now, Kenneth, you've been listening to a bevy of ladies talking about themselves and their projects in this edition of the show. Just tell me, how do you feel? How can you assess these people?
Well, in terms of assessment, like most of the ladies who were talking on the show, I'm very much acquainted with Crystal Beauty, and I very much know about her show. I quite remember, some years back in Maryland, I think it should be about 4 or 5 years back, if I'm not, or 3 years behind, if I'm not wrong. And I hope she's not laughing at me now that I cannot even remember the time. Anyway, I quite remember, back when we were in Maryland, and we talked about her show. We kind of looked at 1 or 2 things, and she was telling me how she's putting things together. I'm really amazed from that time up to this moment how she's gone, how far she's gone, and she's becoming a household name in the showbiz. Like I was telling her the other day, I said I don't see any reason why she's not supposed to be in Maryland for all these premieres coming up and make sure that she covers them, because if she's not there, she has me to deal with. Anyway, but she's doing very good, and the show is really extremely good. She's done a couple of interviews, and I always make sure I read whatever she when she posted, and when they go through these interviews, I always read them, and you see a lot of difference in her shows now. You know, you see somebody who is really learning or somebody who is really climbing the ladder, because on every single day that she posts any video any interview that she does, you see a lot of difference. You see a lot of upward movement. And now, you know, from the time that she started and up to this moment, I see a lot of positive comments about what she's doing, and she's covering a lot. She's not only covering the African stars, actors, musicians, so, you know, but she's covering the entire world, you know, and I like the way she made it diverse, and definitely she's really doing great, and I'll tell her kudos to that, and she should keep up, and she's definitely putting us out there and making us known too.
Mm-hmm. And so you are in the entertainment world, Kenneth. How would you rate what the women are doing? Do you think that these young girls are really making great strides, and in the nearest future they may, you know, be taking the leadership position?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's going to be. I would say that, you know, they are really working very hard, and they are doing a lot. I'm very proud of them. Worldwide, Cameroon in particular, all our young Cameroonian ladies who are in the entertainment business, they are hitting the right nail and at the right places. They are doing it right. The ones that are in the showbiz, like Crystal Beauty Show, like Pride in Show, the ones that are the actresses, you have like Lilian Lee and Edith Pikwa, who is also a rising Cameroonian star right now, based in Dallas. You know, they are really doing good, and I'm seeing a lot of difference. Bernadette Ikei, who is also based in Maryland, she just did one of her movies. You know, I mean, we are really climbing, and these girls, they are really working fast, and I bet you it looks like they are trying to surpass the men in the field today, because I see a lot of them today in the field. And on these days on the Saturday that they celebrate the Women's Day, I want to tell them that we are really very proud of them. They're extremely proud of them, and we are glad that they are trying to hold that torch. They are trying to be that torch bearer to put us in the limelight in terms of entertainment, not only within the U.S., the world in general, and Cameroon in particular. Kudos to them, and I will keep on saying that God should continue to bless them, and they should keep on with the job.
God will definitely continue to bless them. Kenneth, let's leave it at that, and I hope to have you back again next week in yet another edition of African Cocktail. Thank you so much, Kenneth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest, and thank you for giving me such an honor on the week of the celebration of the Women's Day. Thank you, and God bless you too.
Okay, Kenneth Ngamne is one of our resource persons, and Kenneth was appreciating, you know, what the women have been doing. Lots and lots of them are doing great things out there, and we're lucky that we had you know, a couple of them in this edition of the show tell us, you know, what they've been doing and what they still intend to do. In a short while, we shall be going to run off with our main guest. Let's go back to Monique Seka, then we'll be right back with you. Okay, we are soon running off this exceptionally lengthy edition of African Cocktail. We actually had to make it this way because we want the women to tell their stories, because there are lots and lots of young African girls there who must be inspired. We want them to take up leadership positions and forge this continent ahead. Okay, beautiful music there coming to you from the great West African country of Ivory Coast. Her name is Monique Seka. And at this point in time, we're going to move over to Maryland, where Naomi is back to run off this discussion with me. Naomi, once again, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, Naomi, we're about to run off this conversation. So, what do you think about young African girls who explore their God-given talents?
What I would say that well, they should just work hard and as much time as they can, as much effort as they can, in order to accomplish their goals that they have set for themselves. And don't let anybody tell them otherwise. They shouldn't, like, anyone who criticizes them, they shouldn't pay attention to it, because that's gonna, like, mess them up. They should just focus and be determined, and they'll achieve their goals.
So what are your ambitions, Naomi?
My ambitions is to be successful, to be stable, and be at the highest level I can be in this career, both acting and singing, to be in my highest level I can ever reach.
Right.
Possible.
So, Naomi, when you are not dishing out roles for actors in a movie, or when you are not writing a script, or when you are not doing the things which you do in the world of cinema, what else are you doing?
I love to travel. I love swimming and music. I love listening to music all the time. Those are my favorite hobbies, yeah. Most of the time. That's what I do.
Right. And so for someone to be your friend, what Cameroonian traditional delicacy must they give you?
Definitely an arrow.
Right.
Yeah.
And so do you have some women you look up to as your role models?
Not really, but if there's a few, maybe in the industry, as I said before, Mercy, Johnson, Omotala, Jalad, so far, and yeah, those are pretty much our motivations in my career.
Okay, let's make a stop over in Boston. Crystal, what do you consider to be the biggest challenge of young girls nowadays?
The biggest challenge of young girls nowadays? I can't talk about all young girls, but I'm going to talk about the ones I know. What I noticed with them is that they don't follow their dreams. You know, like, if you ask most of them, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? And they tell you, okay, I want to be a doctor. Why do you want to be a doctor? Because their parents want them to do, to be doctors. So I feel like they're doing things because other people want them to do it, or because maybe that's what sells in the job market at that time. And they don't follow their passion. They don't go deep in their minds and their hearts and figure out what it is they really want to do. I think that's the problem I've been noticing with the young Cameroonians that I have around me.
And so, what do you dream for the Crystal Beauty show in the next 10 years, for instance?
I definitely want the show to get on TV, because I don't want it to be just online, Right now, online is fine, but in the near future, I want to be able to showcase it on African TV channels, both in Africa and in the diaspora.
Right. So, who are some of the women you admire, Crystal?
I admire my mom. I admire my mom. She's a single mom. She raised me on her own, and she's hardworking and talented and passionate, and she's been a very great support system for me. She's supported every little thing I put my mind to do, And I mean, obviously, as a mom, she guides you. She tells you, okay, no, this is what to do, this is what to do. By the end of the day, I told her, this is what I want to do, and how do you advise me on how to do this, And we communicate that way, and she's just an amazing support system. She's actually my biggest fan. She's the one person that watches my show all the time. I can count on her view like 100% of the time.
Right.
And her likes and comments and all that. So yes, I admire her a lot.
And so, if Naomi enjoys a bowl of waterfufu and arrow, what would Crystal love to have?
Oh, the same thing. Oh my goodness. I'm actually getting off this radio right now to go eat some. I cooked some earlier today.
Right.
So that's what I'll be having for lunch today.
And so when you are not on the Crystal Beauty Show, what are you doing?
I like to communicate with my audience. You know, I really enjoy when people send me feedback. So I spend my time responding to all the feedback I get, be it negative or positive. You know, the negative ones, I look into them and see how I can fix them. And apart from the feedback, they just friends that just like to, you know, check on me and just say hi, and, you know, I make sure I reply to everybody and just keep connected. You know, I stay connected with them. Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, for taking enough time to talk to us on African Cocktail. Naomi, I hope to have you on the show some other time.
Definitely. I really appreciate it.
Crystal, it was wonderful having you.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Okay, Crystal Beauty and of course Naomi Dominion were the two young girls we had on this show to tell their stories. And I know that you out there have been inspired. You can just be the next Lupita, you can just be the next Crystal, you can just be the next Naomi, you can just be the next Maybelle Boma or the next Cynthia Tabe. Well, it all depends on you, eh? You just have to have valid dreams and, of course, pursue them. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who took off time to listen to us, we want to appreciate and say that next Thursday we will be back. Exceptionally, we will not be having African Cocktail on Wednesday because the host of this show will be unavoidably absent. But then, on Thursday, I will be back to have a fresh edition of the show. And guess what? We shall be having a very, very fantastic guest on Thursday. So do not miss it. And so that's how we put a full stop to this 41st edition of African Cocktail, coming to you from Africa Radio with Ernest Kanjo this day, March the 5th, 2014. It was a big and dynamic team that kept you company. African Kitchen Manager Suzanne A.A., Germany correspondent Maxel Ajic, Belgium correspondent Titus Banyo in Antwerp, South Africa correspondent Solomon Atta in Cape Town, resource person number 1 Kenneth Ngamne, resource person number 2 Souleyman Kouyate, resource person number 3 Mato Eyong, content critic The White Bokori, African online promo banner Bo Boateng, cross promotion partner Donella Matrix of talkradio.com, main guest Crystal Beauty of CBS show, and of course Naomi Dominion, guest at large number 1 Maybelle Boma, New York, guest at large number 2 Cynthia Tabe, London, moral support Felicia Dix, music supply DJ Cash, collaboration Big Joe, Ambrati Coffee, Awal Muhammad, Arnold Boateng, Sanford Aposa, Damilola Jari, Mayo Makinde, KK Saran, coordination Nana Mpem, Charles Bafo. My name is Ernest Kanjo, host of this edition of African Cocktail. I was joined earlier on by Saran and KK, and we are asking you to join us again next Thursday for yet another vibrant edition of African Cocktail on Africa Radio. And until we meet next week, it is bye bye, ciao, au revoir, merci, I'm gone, see you, to God be the glory.